Hey guys, so today we are going to be graphing some lines, and before we start we need to talk about X and Y intercepts. So I'm going to title my next page of my journal X and Y intercepts. This kind of bled through from the previous note, so I'm sorry about that. So X and Y intercepts. And we're going to use our X and Y intercepts to graph our lines today. So you might want a ruler. So before we start, I'm just going to I'm going to sketch a line, nothing big. And then let's talk about this. This is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. So I have 2 points here, and we need to talk about, out of these two points, which one's my x-intercept. So the point that's on my x-axis is my x-intercept. So that right there is my x-intercept. And we need to talk about this ordered pair. So this ordered pair is going to be some x value, but the y is going to be 0 because I didn't go up any on my y-axis. So whatever my x is, comma y. So it's important for us to know that every time we're talking about an x-intercept, the y is going to be 0. So let's go back over here and fill in our definition. The point where the graph crosses the x-intercept is the point where the graph crosses the x-axis. X-intercepts happen when the y is equal to the number 0. Always, 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 y is 0. To find the x-intercepts from an equation, which we're going to do that today, you're going to replace our y value with a 0 and solve for x, because we want the x-intercept, so we have to solve for x, okay? And to find our y-intercept, well, the same thing. Let's talk about the y-intercept. Draw my graph, make my line. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So that's my y-intercept. My y-intercept. And so let's talk about the y-intercept as an ordered pair. Are we moving any on our x-axis? Nope. So our x value is going to be 0 this time. And whatever my y value is, it's going to be like this. The way I remember this is if I want my y-intercept, I better have a number on the y spot. If I want my x-intercept, then my number better be on my x spot. So it's the point where the graph crosses the y-axis. Y-intercepts happen when x is 0. To find the y-intercept from an equation, we're going to replace x with 0 and solve for y. Okay? So we're going to come over here and we're going to take that piece of information and we're going to do some examples. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to understand that my equations today are going to be in standard form. Okay? So that is standard form of a line. The way I remember this is that x and y are on the same side. Okay, we're not even going to talk about y equals mx plus b yet. We're just talking about the basic standard form of a line. X and y are on the same side. So for example, you're going to have numbers for a, b, and c. So I'm going to have 2x plus 6y equals 18. Okay, and in order to solve that, we need to find our x-intercept and we need to find our y-intercept in order to graph it. So we're just going to practice finding our x-intercept and we're going to practice finding our y-intercept. So to find our x-intercept, we want a value for x. So we need to replace y with 0. So 2x plus 6, oh, there's a y. I'm going to replace it with 0 equals 18. Okay? 6 times 0, and I'm just going to work it out. 6 times 0 is 0. So 2x plus 0 equals 18. Technically, I don't even need that. So the problem reads 2x equals 18. So now I divide by 2, and the value of my x-intercept is at 9. Well, I want to be specific. That's 9 comma 0 because I want the number on the x side. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find my y-intercept. Same process, except this time I want y, so I'm going to sub in the 0 for x. 2 parentheses 0 plus 6y equals 18. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 6y equals 18. I don't need that 0, so I have 6y equals 18. Divide by 6. The value of y is 3. We need to label that as an ordered pair. 3, 0 or 0, 3? Well, it's going to be 0, 3 because I want the y, the number on the y spot. Okay? There is an easier way. Okay? It's called the cover-up method. So if I want the x, I'm going to cover up the y. And so my problem reads 2x equals 18. So that avoids all of this, and it just allows us to jump to this piece and just solve. If I want my y, I'm going to cover up my x. Same thing. It allows us to skip these two pieces, and we just jump to the 6y equals 18 and solve. So pretty simple. We have our cards. So we're going to pick a problem from here, and we're going to work it out. So I want to do, let's find a good one. X plus 2y equals 18. So on the back, I'm going to rewrite the problem. So x plus 2y equals 18. And I'm going to find my x-intercept. And I'm going to find my y-intercept. And I'm going to use the cover-up method here because I want this to be short and sweet. So if I want my x-intercept, I cover up my y. So my problem says x equals 18. And I don't need to solve, I'm done. So that's 18 comma 0. So then I need to find my y-intercept. This time I'll cover up the x. So I have 2y equals 18. Divide by 2, divide by 2, y equals 9, and that's 0 comma 9. Alright, so now let's practice some graphing. With all that information, let's practice some graphing. So I have 8x plus 2y equals negative 16. I'm going to flip that. 8x plus 2y equals negative 16. And I'm going to find my x-intercept, and then I'm going to find my y-intercept. Okay, to find my x, cover up my y. So I have 8x equals negative 16. Divide by 8, divide by 8. X equals negative 2. Negative 2 comma 0. So on my x-axis, I'm going to put a dot at negative 2. On my x-axis, I'm going to put a dot at negative 2. Okay, then I'm coming back over here, I'm going to solve for y. So my problem says 2y equals negative 16. 2y equals negative 16. Divide by 2, divide by 2, y equals negative 8. 0 comma negative 8. I'm going to come over here. On my y-axis, I'm going to put a dot at negative 8. 2 points. That is absolutely enough to draw my line. So I'm going to connect my two dots. And voila, I am done. Alright, let's do one more. 4x minus 3y equals negative 24. 4x minus 3y equals negative 24. So I'm going to find my x-intercept. I'm going to find my y-intercept. 4x equals negative 24. Divide by 4, divide by 4, x equals negative 6. That would be negative 6 comma 0. I'm going to come over here. I have x equals negative 6. So on my x-axis, I'm going to put a dot at negative 6. Okay? For my y, I want to cover up my x. So I have negative 3y equals negative 24. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, y equals 8. So for my y-axis, I'm going to put a dot at 8. So that's negative 6 comma 0, and this one is 0 comma 8. It's important that you know where the zeros go so you don't get confused. And then connect my dots, mark my arrows, and that's it. Alright, if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email.